So for me, I wake up every morning, I play Bach. You know, it gets me in the right mood to do a bit of work. It puts me spiritually in the right area. It gets my fingers moving with good coordination on the violin. So it's physical, it's conceptual, it's philosophical, it's meditational, and it's all in one music. You know, so this is why I'm drawn to Bach, and I think maybe that's why I can give a positive energy from his music. And you know, I'm not the only one. Many musicians can do this, but like some musicians play too theoretically with this, and it lets down the beautiful humanity of Bach. It has to have humanity in it, otherwise, what is it here for? There's other bastards living at the same time as Bach who wrote stuff, and luckily we've forgotten who they are. But why relegate him to being stylistic references to what people think people might have done in those days? Casals was 5 levels above that. Menuhin was 5 levels above that. Glenn Gould was 10 levels above that. You know, and that's the way I got inspired with Bach. I'm not saying what level I am, but I know that I can get positive energy from playing his music, and I would just love to give some of that positive energy to other people who happen to be listening, bothered to spend their time to come to the concert hall. Wow, I always write at the piano, you know, because the piano has harmony. I can play it on my own without having to call in other musicians just to get the structure of the composition. And I love melody. So I don't have to be a virtuoso piano player to think of a song which is like verse, chorus, bridge. You know, I'm very much inspired by not only the Beatles, but people like the Small Faces and the Kinks and people like that. But then I use my knowledge and love of classical and jazz, and it comes into it. So I'm never going to just write a pop song, which is actually more skill maybe than what I've got, because like to write a decent song is much more difficult than to write an elaborate symphony. Many people write elaborate symphonies, but like not many people have come out with amazing songs like Bob Dylan or like you know, some of the great artists from the 70s. No, I can't write lyrics. I'd have to like make partnership with somebody. You know, I've done songs with other people writing the lyrics where I come in up with the melodies and the idea. I think I done one of the first Sex Change songs. Like when was that Kafka album made, man? Like probably 80s. Yeah, late 80s or something. And like it was the first one about someone who's getting the operation to change into a woman from a man. And like I done that with the lyrics being written by a guy called Stephen Duffy, and my old girlfriend Brixie Smith. She was in The Fall, so they were both much better songwriters than me as far as like having experience in that genre. I learnt a lot from them guys, but I'm just not very good with words. Like I can talk a lot, but I can't really fucking get the words together, man, for the lyrics, you know.
That's a shame.
I might do something on the Ten Commandments, though.
Ah,
Yeah, I want to do something on a capitalist version of the Ten Commandments, like, you know, so that, like, thou shalt not kill unless you want a country's oil, right? Or thou shalt not commit adultery unless you've got enough money to buy the woman a big flat so that she keeps quiet. You know, and like, you know, all of them, you know, every commandment is now only held in law, enshrined in law, if like, if there's a financial reason for it. Because I didn't want to not be me for very long. You know, like I tried to be like what people would expect me to be for a little while. And then I realised, look, fuck, they're not going to like me if I'm pretending to be something. And I started not to care if people like me or not. I just thought like, you know, if people are going to take me, they're going to take me for what I am and not for something I'm trying to pretend to be. And so I just stopped with all that. I don't know. I just had enough of it. You know, first wearing these stupid clothes, having to behave in a certain way, having to say that the conductor is a better musician than someone who can actually play the instrument, having to like say that someone who's sitting behind a desk is really important compared with someone who's on stage in front of a few hundred or a few thousand people or something, you know. And I just think, with a lack of false modesty, that like the musician is more important than all of the fuckers around. Like my band, without my band, there would be no music, right? Without me, maybe my band could still play, but without musicians, like, there would be none. And like, you know, I started playing on the streets in New York. And so I just thought I would return to that. You know, I could earn $200 in an hour in the 70s. So that was like, I don't know, 2000 now.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and like, so I could pay the rent without having to be beholden to any administration, nothing. And get good dinners.
And get to do
Yeah, with potatoes.
that. Makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
Potatoes.
but I mean, you know, it's a team job. Everyone's in the team. But like, without the music, these record company people who's like acting so grandiose and shit, you know, like, without some shit on the plastic or on the download which makes some noise, there would be nothing.